I'm just trying to send a tweet out about this. All right, hopefully that works. Okay, so we're gonna write some more code today, and maybe even write like a LinkedIn SDK, if that's even a thing. Does LinkedIn have an SDK? They have developer solutions. Oh, this is gonna be amazing. So this is gonna be a part of um, my Posse module. So Posse is this thing, it's an acronym that stands for publish once, publish, maybe publish once, publish on something, and then syndicate everywhere. Let's look up what Posse means. Publish on your own site. Oh, the on your is silent. So publish on your own site and syndicate everywhere. So it's basically the idea of, instead of having like silos of wherever you are in the world, you can like use your own site as like the hub for all of your thoughts and blog posts and essays and videos and whatever. And then you just kind of syndicate those throughout various social medias. So I actually already have a couple of modules that do that. We have our lovely Mastodon module. So if we go to Daggerverse, we'll see the Mastodon module. So Mastodon allows us to send toots from Dagger. We also have a Twitter module, and we can actually see it in action. So if we go to Twitter, oh, I'm not even signed in. I don't even know how to do this. I have all these different accounts. Sorry. But yeah, if we go to Twitter, and yesterday I posted a module update. Didn't I? Yeah, this one. So this actually came from my Dagger pipeline. This toot came from Dagger pipeline, and this was using that Twitter module. So we already have a couple of these. So the way that I'm using it right now is when I publish a new version of any of my modules, I run this kind of workflow here, which basically sends out a toot and sends out a tweet. But what if I also wanted to send out a LinkedIn post, and if I also wanted to send out a message on Google Plus, if I was in a time machine in 2008 or whatever, right? Like there could be 100 different places where I want to send out my stuff. I could make a new block for each of these, or I could ideally have like one module that kind of ties all this stuff together. So that's what I kind of want to work on tonight, is this Posse module. I started working on some of it already. I'm not actually sure if it does anything yet. And I started writing it in Python. Let's zoom in a little bit. I started writing this one in Python. Just in case someone shows up, we'll have that there. But I started writing this in Python. And I think right now, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, and I got stuck because I wanted to use InPhysical. InPhysical is an awesome open source secret management solution. But the existing version of our module doesn't quite work. There's work in progress for a new version of that. And when that comes out, we'll show another example of this. In fact, that'll be a really nice refactor. So once this physical module comes out, we'll refactor whatever we do here tonight and use that. But for now, we'll just pass these in manually. But essentially, InPhysical allows you to just have a secret vault that you can access through an API token. So instead of having to pass in all these individual arguments for each secret that you might have, you can just put all that stuff into InPhysical, pass in one single token and then grab all the variables that you need. And you'll notice that it's particularly painful for a project like this, because for every provider, we have so many different like secrets and keys and tokens, and like Twitter has 5. My Mastodon client has 3, kind of, right? The client ID isn't a secret, but you could store it that way. And who knows how many LinkedIn's going to have. So, and physical is really going to come in handy for us here. But we'll do it like the slow way now, so that we can really appreciate how powerful and how much better of an experience it's going to be with physical. So let's get rid of that for just a second. We don't really need any of those helper functions. And I almost want to try working on LinkedIn SDK first and then get back to whatever we're doing here with this posse thing. So let's just try that real quick. And we'll go ahead and write that LinkedIn SDK using TypeScript, just because over the last couple of days we've seen a bunch of Go, we've seen a bunch of Python, we haven't seen a ton of TypeScript. Let's just for fun get TypeScript going in here. So I'm going to make a new folder. So because when in doubt, we're going to make a module. So make LinkedIn, and we're going to initialize an SDK using the TypeScript SDK. And I'm definitely not like good at TypeScript at all. So this is going to be fun. We're going to learn a lot today. So let's go ahead and open that up, and let's just take a look around and see what we got going for us. So out of the gate, we have our familiar code generation that happened in this hidden SDK folder, and then our main source contains all of our kind of pre-generated module code just to test things out. Everything else works exactly the same way as we're used to. So if I wanted to just kind of see what this thing can do, I can say Dagger functions, and it'll print out all of its capabilities. And right now it can container echo, and it can grep dirs, which are the 2 kind of built-in functions that exist with Dagger bootstrap thing. So that's cool. And I mean, I don't even know if LinkedIn has anything that we're going to be able to use, but let's just take a look and see. LinkedIn SDK. And like, so these are lovely, beautiful, familiar Microsoft docs. I wonder if there's like a TypeScript SDK that we can use. Okay, so last, is LinkedIn Developers an official group? Okay, so that's promising. It's last updated last year, so that's not super promising. But maybe the API hasn't changed in a year. Okay, it's currently in beta, so it's changed. That's great. We love beta software. So that's cool. I wonder if there's any like really nice and easy examples, and there are. Okay, So this is great. So let's just go ahead and install. So remember, with Dagger, it's just code, like any other project, like any other code. Except I think we want to go into the Dagger folder because that's where our package.json file is. So if we want to install this library, we can npm install, we'll save it, LinkedIn API client. So now this will just be a dependency of the module. So when the module runtime is created, it'll include this LinkedIn API client. So even if I call this module later on from Python or from Go, or even from the CLI, the runtime will have all the required dependencies. So I don't have to worry about having Node installed or anything like that. I do want to make sure that Node modules are going to be ignored. It seems like they will be, so that's good. Okay, so halfway there. And then we want to import REST LI client. Oh, this is beautiful. You get all this lovely auto completion. Things are definitely moving in the right direction. So we'll call this the LinkedIn module. The TypeScript editing experience in VS Code just feels really nice. I don't know, for some reason it does. Okay, so we got the REST client. And we want to post, which is probably going to require a whole bunch of like stuff that we're going to have to do. We got to read some docs, and this might take a while. So buckle in. But before we do anything crazy, let's just see if we can get anything to work at all, right? Like this is a little bit frustrating because it's like, hey, this requires three-legged access token with the profile scope, which is included in assignment with LinkedIn API product. Okay. This is like pretty frustrating whenever I see this in API docs because like they're basically abstracting away the fact that you have to do a bunch of work in order to get this token, and they're just saying, oh yeah, you like once you get that token, you just pop it in here and you're all good. I wish there was just like a complete example here. That would be my wish. And the good news is, as soon as we finish writing this Dagger module, we will have a complete example, which is why I love. Lately, I've been really enjoying like taking random SDKs that exist out in the world that usually have documentation that looks just like this, where it's like deceivingly simple and just kind of hides all the actual complexity that you're going to have to do, and and think about. And you can't just like copy and paste this anywhere and run it. You have to go think about all this extra work. And then once we write a Dagger module, not only will we create this like interface that allows you to interact with this API through their SDK in a very kind of clean way without having to install any dependencies or think about anything, we'll also have a reference implementation of this SDK. So in the future, if somebody is wondering, hey, how do I use this thing to post a message to LinkedIn, they could look at the code of our Dagger module and see that. I would love to see a world where like basically every single like SDK has a corresponding Dagger module, simply for the purpose of showing you how to use that SDK and showing that like real world reference implementation with all the right secrets and all the right tokens and everything else. So that's my dream, and today we'll solve that for LinkedIn, and hopefully over the next, tomorrow we'll solve it for some other platform, and eventually we'll just have a Dagger module for every single SDK that exists in the world. Okay, But what I want to do now is just use this very, very simple API request. So I got my REST client, and let's just start by making a new function. And this will be a function called, I don't want to be too, like it doesn't matter what it's called at all. It can be called test. It's called test. And it'll have no parameters, and it'll return a string. And you should be able to say const. Here we're just basically copying whatever code already exists here. And eventually we want to return. Is that how I would do that? I've actually not seen like this promise thing with I haven't seen this yet. I haven't written code like this yet. So of course, like I said, we're gonna learn a lot today. Um, I've written like code that returns promises or uses promises and uses then, but I've not done it with Dagger yet. So um, doesn't seem happy with that at all. I wonder if I just say that, is that gonna? Of course not. It's just stupid. Um, I think all these examples are going to be this tenable situation. Um, just for fun, what if we return nothing? I just want to call this function and see what happens. All right. Well, it does call. Like it does call the function, so that's pretty cool. And it gives me this beautiful error, which tells me I'm missing my access token. Okay. Well, like let's just keep that going. Like, do I really need a response? Uh, I want to know how to get a response for sure, because um, that's going to be important for us. But this feels like it's really like a limitation of my TypeScript skills more than anything else. Let's just keep going. Let's just get our access token and then go from there. So Oh, okay. Hmm. So I talked I said all that. I had my little lecture earlier about how confusing and complicated this example was, but and with all due respect, back to LinkedIn, is they do have this developer portal token generator that does just generate the token. So that was a really funny example of me just kind of being silly because, like, yeah, like there's a lot of complexity that needs to happen if you want to do this like purely through code. But if you just want to grab a token and pass it in, you can do that too. And I love that. So, anyways, I'm sorry, LinkedIn, for talking crap earlier. Um, I really got to find a way to use a browser, the right profile on these things, because I keep being in like Chrome windows that aren't logged into anything. It makes things hard. So let's make our developer profile. Call it Dagger poster. Mm, Interesting. It says API products available to individual developers have a company default company page associated with them. So I need to pick a company page. Like I would and maybe should just pick the Dagger page, but I don't want to. I don't necessarily want to do that just yet. Um, so confused. So we need a company page. I don't want to use the Dagger page yet. So I'm gonna make my own. I guess I'm gonna make a new page. I'm still confused. Sorry. So you have a page. You have the option to create a page. So is this example like? Oh, okay. Oh, never mind. So confused. I need to make a page. Yes. Um, Let me go back here because, like, who am I? Am I an individual developer or a third-party enterprise developer? I can't. Like, I don't really know because it says that individual developers have a default company page associated with them, and you must select that default company page to proceed. But what is that? Where is that? Okay. Um, we're getting stuck on like the smallest, simplest things, which is always fun. Let's just create a new page. I'll just make a page for my personal website. And maybe this is perfect. Like maybe this is exactly what I needed because I'll post on this company page with my posse module later. Very cool. So I have this new page. So that's great. So can I then do that? All right, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So here we are. Create an app. I need a valid logo. But I really don't want that. So I'll just give it a black square picture. So that's my logo. Are they gonna accept that? They are. Okay, great. Okay, so um, okay, so I needed to do two things. First, create an application. Done. Request sign in with LinkedIn API product. So that is this, right? There's only one option. Okay. Request access, sign in with LinkedIn. Okay. And then go to the token generator tool and make a token for my Dagger status updater. I'm going to want our profile light. Our light profile scope. I don't actually see that like any of like what they're talking about. Oh wait. Our profile, our light profile. So profile. Okay. Hopefully that'll work. So request a token. Let me. Mm, 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 mm. Before I do this though, I probably don't want to create a token on the stream live, right? That's a really bad idea. So let's go ahead and pause this display capture for a second. And it's saying that the state parameter was This isn't necessarily working for me right now. This cannot verify the authenticity request because the state parameter was modified. So I'm going to Google that. Okay. I'm going to disable uBlock because it might be causing issues. So strange. So strange, honestly. Okay, this still isn't working. I'm very sorry because this just a black screen. I'm still trying to get this to work. Oh man. They're giving me a survey about my experience. I'm gonna skip that survey for now. Maybe I need to verify. Maybe I need to verify the application first. Let me try that. Um, Dagger status updater. So confused. Keeps saying that it cannot verify because the state parameter was modified. Um, well, hopefully some of the like developer experience folks from LinkedIn will watch this stream one day and see how it works for the average mediocre developer like me. It's incredibly frustrating. What is that URL? If I just give it some stupid URL, what's going to happen? All right, I'm going to try one more thing. I'm going to give up because I can't get my sample token. Yeah, it must be. It must have been a Chrome issue because when I try it on Safari, it just works. It's just crazy to even say out loud, but it's true. There's a bunch of secrets here, so I'm glad I didn't share them. I'm going to add these to my environment and then get the stream back on. So 1 second, please. Okay, so let's get that stream back. I did it in Safari, and then now I'll be able to. I should be able to just grab that token in my code, and I'll be off to the races. And this is a parameter that I'm going to pass in. So we'll call the parameter token, and then the access token will be token, and we should be able to now call it like this. So we'll say Dagger call test token is env. Oh, sorry, I'm going to source those first, or load like reload the environment. Dagger call test token is equal to the environment of li token. Great. Invalid access token. So did not like that at all. But I know why. Because it's a string and it should be a secret. So first of all, I want it to be a secret. I don't want it to be a string. Second of all, I want the token to be token.plaintext. Um, but I don't know how to grab that with TypeScript, so I might need to go back to the docs. Now, I might need to go to the old docs for this, because in our cookbook, which is still kind of being updated for modules, there's a lot of great stuff in here on how to do this. Um, it's not quite available just yet. Sorry, all the functionality is available, but the docs aren't yet available. They'll be published soon. So in the meantime, I just want to grab. I basically want to get the plain text version. I think. I think that's what I want, but that's not quite what I'm seeing. Um, so this is going again. This is going back to like async stuff. So like secret.plaintext returns a promise, but I want the actual value that I'm going to pass into this function. So how do I um, how do I deal with that? That's my question. So let's go back to the docs and see if we can find that out. Can I just say that? Wait, is that a thing that happens in async functions? Okay, well, maybe that's all we needed. Await async test. Await token up text. Okay. Hopefully that works. Didn't like it didn't like the variable that I passed for some reason. Try one more time. If that doesn't work, then I'm gonna go just for 1 second, turn the screen back off and inspect my environment. Okay, it did not like that. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna turn the screen back off and inspect the environment. I'm very confused. Oh man. I'm just like not using. Oh, I'm so dumb. Sometimes I have to write export in the bash if I want to actually export it. It's like somewhere in my profile file, I just like forgot to type export. I did it for like a bunch of different variables. Um, anyways, let's get back to this. I did it for a bunch of different variables, so glad I found that. So, anyways, let's run it one more time, and this should work theoretically. Let's see. Not enough permissions to get access to get/me. Okay, we were making so much progress here. I just need the permissions that are asked for don't seem to be good enough for what. Our light profile scope. Okay. I thought I gave it that, but maybe I didn't. So let's do this one more time. We'll do it in Safari because that's the only place where it worked before. And I will one more time just stop the screen for just a second. Grab that token. I'll just get all the scopes. Why not? Back. Oh no, let me update the environment again as well. back on. Let's try it one more time. So strange. So now it's saying there's not enough permissions, but that seems very odd because like I gave it all the possible permissions. So is there? It's possible that like something else has now changed. But frankly, I don't actually care. I don't want to get a profile. I want to share content on LinkedIn. So what if we just skipped over to that part? Now that we have like a token that works. Um, Create, modify, delete post comments, reactions on your behalf. Okay, great. What more can I ask for? Um, Sorry, but one more time, I'm going to pause the screen, try to make that token. Screen's coming back on. I don't know if this will work, but even if it doesn't, we can just move on because now we want to post. Is that a thing that we can do? Maybe in the examples folder. Create post. So so unfortunately, we do need the me response because we're going to need ourself. We're going to need data about our user in order to make a post. So we do need to get that first thing to work properly, for better or worse. So we got to get back to the drawing board here. So, um, so that's my token. I'm going to get rid of it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. This token's about to get. I'm going to inspect these tokens. Yeah. So something is off about this, and I think the problem is from the very beginning. This thing told me that I needed to get our light profiles. I needed sign in with LinkedIn API product, which is probably different than signing in with LinkedIn using OpenID Connect, right? So is it just the problem that I want this instead? Is that like perhaps the problem? Because it seemed, because at the very beginning of this section we talked about, oh, maybe they haven't updated the API in a while, which is obviously not true. Like, of course they updated the API. They probably just updated the docs or the SDK. I'm getting 403s, so I wonder if make a new token. And you know what? We'll just not. We just won't update. We won't change our. If I want to do that. 1 second. Guys, stop sharing again. Sorry. Create a new token. We're gonna get the profile, member social. But it still just feels like something is missing here. Because I'm gonna make a token that gives me just everything that I can have access to as a starting. So now that I've done that, share again. And I'm revoking my previous apology to LinkedIn developers because this is like because I said it was going to be hard and it looked like it was going to be easy, and now it's not easy. So I'm going back to my first complaint. But like when I sign in with LinkedIn, I want to get user info. It tells me I don't have enough permissions to get that. So, and that makes me sad. Make sure I have everything sourced from the most recent token. Okay. Well, it's not an error, so that's cool. But now we're in this situation where we actually want to see what happened, and we can't, which is also a bummer. But we've made progress. I created a token that has access to everything, and now I don't get an error anymore. But if we look at the trace, so it's possible that the trace will give me more information. So let's just take a peek. I don't know if this is the right way to do it. We'll find out here in a second. I really got to learn how to do TypeScript better. Definitely did not like whatever was happening there. I don't know if you have an example. I basically just want to know how to return from within this whole block. Um, I wonder if there's a better example somewhere else. Seems like this is probably the better approach. So we'll say const profile equals await this client.get. Is that gonna work? Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Um, we are getting somewhere, but let's try that. No, it didn't like that. Let's say like print, like JavaScript, print object as string. I just want to print just like display the whole object. Is that gonna work? I try that. All right, let's just try that and see what happens. It's converting circular structure to JSON. So this isn't JSON, right? That's the problem. But perhaps we should actually look at what this is. Li get response. Very close to figuring this out. I want to just like read more about what li get response actually is. So rest li entity. Maybe that'll work. So it's undefined. This is just so frustrating. I know I'm kind of dumb, but I just want to see the string value. That's it. Oh man. All right. After all that, we have successfully retrieved LinkedIn data from a Dagger module. And it only took us like, I don't know how long this has been going on for, but way too damn long. Way too damn long. And do I need that await thing? It says no, it doesn't have. I don't need that. It's just like made up by me. Let's try it one more time. But what we're gonna need from here, I guess, is this sub. Okay. So we made some progress. And can I see me as well, or is it just user info? Because eventually we're gonna need that like URI thing. Or sorry, like the profile ID. Yeah, it doesn't like that. It doesn't like the me. So it only likes user info. Okay. So the part that's frustrating here is it's saying, oh, the person you are in. Okay. And then it says, use the sign in with LinkedIn using OpenID to see how to retrieve the person you are in. Okay. And there's like nothing about the URN in here. Man, it's so frustrating. I swear, right? Because it's like, hey, just check out sign in with LinkedIn using OpenID Connect to see how to retrieve the person URN. And then you go here, and like the term URN does not exist on this page. Person does not exist in that context on this page. So why? What, what are we supposed to do? like these docs aren't connected to each other, and it's just like the most frustrating thing in the world because it feels like two distinct companies wrote like the API that tells you who the person is versus the API that tells you um, how to post something. Like it's just absurd to me. I'm over here raging. I don't think that's the sub, but it might be. It might be the sub. You know. Um, what if we Google person URN? Is that going to give us some more information? So let's just assume for a second that this ID right here is the URN for me. The sub is the URN. Let's just assume that for 1 second. Okay. So if that's the case, then we should be able to back to the examples, go to create posts and say I, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. Because this example uses this other me response, right? That comes from me, and I can't get to me. I can't get there to my current token because the thing they talked about doesn't exist anymore. Let's just assume that the sub thing is relevant somehow. So we'll say post create. So post create, and we'll say uh, message. What do we call it in the Twitter one? And by the way, we're definitely not going to get to the posse thing tonight, but we can try it tomorrow. Called text. let's just be consistent there and call that the same thing. Text will be string. That's gonna be the body of our message is gonna be the text. Okay, so let's just comment that out for a second. We're not gonna need that, and we're gonna say const response is actually wait rest client dot create resource path post resource. Like it's not that deep. Why we need that constant there. I guess that ever changes. I want that. That's pretty clever. But let's just keep this as simple as possible. So post resource, and then we're gonna say, okay, so what's it unhappy about? Entity is equal to that, and then that has an author with this URN li person. Hard code myself for now, and then life cycle state published. And let's just like close that out for a second. What like this is so useless. Whenever this is like this, whenever it's this messy, like it's not helpful. Honestly, it's not helpful. Let's just keep writing this. Lifecycle state, visibility, public. Commentary. So this will finally be our actual post. So that's going to be the text. Distribution. All right. So we should be able to like post something to our feed now. Bear with me here. So it'll be that, and it'll be text testing. .426. So that's a new one for me. says upgrade required. So it sounds like the API version is wrong. It's just too old. So LinkedIn API version latest. It's useless. This is so annoying, honestly. But we're close. 2023-02 did not work. This is like the most annoying thing I've ever seen in my life. Because like it doesn't tell you anything about the version. The last time this article was updated in 2020, this was 2023. So let's just go there and see what happens. I should have known something was wrong when I read the word streamlined in the example, because it's always like a huge red flag that something stupid is about to happen. This is definitely like the angriest I've ever been on a stream. So I'm sorry in advance. All right, well, it returned nothing, but did it post? Did post. So we have successfully sent a message on LinkedIn from Dagger, which I'm incredibly satisfied about right now. Even though this took like an hour, like this should have been like a 2 minute long exercise, and it took like an hour, over an hour probably. But we have successfully posted from LinkedIn. Just want to take a moment to kind of take it all in, just like suck in the beauty of this moment. Let's clean up this code. So we're going to rename this function as post instead of test. We're going to remove this hard. So the one thing we have to change is a person is going to pass in their token, and in order to get their token, we're going to grab this user info thing first, I guess, right? So does that mean we need to make 2 calls? I assume this means we have to make 2 calls. The first one is to grab the person information. The second one is going to be to get, is to post a message. And I think we can do them inside the same function. Like we don't need 2 functions necessarily. So let's try that. So the first thing we want is the user response is going to be that. And then the token itself is going to be a string that's interpolated with a value of user response dot. Let's go back and try to find one. User response dot sub. Is that right? data.sub. User response.data.sub. I guess that'll work for us. So let's try that. And let's delete that message that we just sent. And we will, I wonder if we can get a better response from there. Li create response. What is li create response? Because I really wish it could give us more than what it's giving right now. Create entity ID. Okay, I mean, that's fine. Let's just keep things very, very simple, not try to reinvent the wheel here. So JSON stringify that. That's the version. That's the data, or the user ID that we're going to use. Let's rename this to post instead of test. And then it says post message to LinkedIn. Before we move on, though, let's document this nicely. So when we publish this module, it looks nice. First, we're going to get rid of all this bottom, this auto-generated code. We don't need it anymore. Send this mess up one thing. We don't need that, but we need that last brace. Okay, so we don't need any of that auto-generated code, and I want to like make this look really nice. So inline documentation, module Dagger pipeline. I can give some function documentation. So post messages to LinkedIn, example usage, Dagger call post token, and text. So that's the example usage, and then params. Okay. So we get some nice little inline documentation, so that now when we do things like Dagger, call, post, help, we should get some really nice documentation from the CLI. And this gives me everything that we just talked about. And we might as well give some additional, some of that same really nice context. Okay, so I just linked to that because it's nice to have a little reference. authentication. Okay, so we get the token. We get the user ID from whoever gave us the token, and then we post the message passing in the context of the body, and we return the entity ID. So let's try that now. Oops. Everything was good except for its post instead of test now. You'll note that the things are just a little bit slow with TypeScript. That's a known issue right now. We're working on getting that going better. But this is awesome. I love this. I'm very, very happy with the results here. So I'll go ahead and delete that post too. And I'm ready to publish this now, honestly. I'm ready to publish this module. So in order to publish it, I think I could just do our standard thing. So let me add all the good stuff. And one thing I want to change is right now there's a little bit of a bug with how Dagger Publish works, which we found last night. So before we actually push the tag out, let's just change what we're doing in the final post so that we can still get the URLs to work properly. You know, and you know what? Like we could actually post this to LinkedIn, although I think it might get a little bit annoying. So I'm gonna hold off on posting to LinkedIn from the releases for now because I think it might get a little tiny bit annoying, to be honest. But I will at least post a message to LinkedIn myself manually. But the one thing I want to do is go to this repo and then change the circle config for a minute. So instead of saying, hey, check out this URL with the circle tag, we're going to say, hey, check out this URL with this circle tag, which is the name of the module. And followed by at circle SHA-1. I think that's the correct thing. That is the commit. Circle SHA-1 is the git commit. Although, does that exist when I have a tag? This may not actually work. Let's take a look. If I'm running a tag build, does SHA-1 even exist? Because I feel like this used to be an issue back in the day. Okay, perfect. It does exist. Phenomenal. So yeah, so we'll say go to that at the shop. So instead of going to the circle tag, we're going to go to the circle tag / the shop. This is really annoying. Hopefully that actually works, but we'll find out in a second if it did or not. So this will allow us to publish, still talk about the tag that we created, but make sure the URL always resolves by going directly to the shop. Okay, so I'll commit that to, and again, let's do that dance where we rebase. I'm going to rebase anyway, so what's the point? Okay, so here goes nothing. We have just published LinkedIn, the LinkedIn module. And we can kind of watch the magic happen. So what we're going to do next time is write the posse, because now you can see like the need for the posse module. Instead of like creating a new block for this, if I want to add LinkedIn, it would be great if I could just like call Dagger, call posse, and then publish everywhere all at the same time. Instead of having to choose like one at a time which ones I'm going to publish to. So, but at the same time, I wouldn't want Posse to implement each one of these SDKs themselves, because like you might want to use it in different contexts. So, be like writing these, like creating these little building block modules and composing them together in a high level module, I think is the way to go. And we will drastically simplify this circle configuration once we ship that Posse module. The other thing I want to do is right now we have the Mastodon module, the Twitter module is written in Python, the Mastodon module is written in Go, and this LinkedIn module is written in TypeScript. So we have all three languages represented, and the Posse module, like we'll write it in one of those three, but it'll be a really beautiful way to show how we are using three different languages inside of one pipeline without having to re-implement things in that new language. So it's really coming together. I love that. So hopefully this works. If it doesn't work, it's possible the issue isn't actually the fact that it's not crawling. Oh, this is so beautiful. Oh, I love this so much. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna post this on LinkedIn too, just this one time. I'm not gonna add it automatically just yet. I'll give it a custom message. I wish I could see the whole text. So let me show you how to do that. So I have my LinkedIn token and my environment variable, and I want to call Dagger call m. So I'm going to call that remote module. And I'm going to pass in the token and the text. Just say, and the text is going to be exactly what I had posted here. And it won't be a LinkedIn message without an emoji. So I gotta get my little geek emoji or something. What the heck was that? All right, last but not least, check it out. There's a link to the module, which I'll put here. Oh man, I was so close. I was so close. Okay, let's do it one more time. Let's do it here first on a little scratch pad. Okay, so I just published a new version of the Dagger module. It allows you to post the pipeline. Check it out. Check it out. I'll do that. And wait, I ran into this recently. Maybe it's a moot point, but let's see what happens. So that's where I'm at. Life is good. I have an emoji. Boom. Super. 401. I wonder if it's because of this stupid hashtag thing again. Because I just wrote a post about this. Because remember, this is all about the slash tag. So what happened? What did I end up having to do? I don't actually know. This is LinkedIn, so let's just get rid of the slash for now. Let's just get rid of that for now. Maybe he doesn't like this emoji, honestly. Possible. Let's try it. See what happens. And one thing I do want to do better is handle like these errors because uh, I'd love to see like what the actual problem is instead of just this kind of useless thing that I see here. So close. Oh, okay, so what is the issue? Unauthorized. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not really sure, but it looks like none of that stuff that I did earlier actually mattered. Let's go back to what the thing I wanted to post originally, which was this. 401 is unauthorized. It has nothing to do with the content of this message. I should know that because I've been doing this for like 20 years. And I still just, for some reason, got confused by what a 401 was. But anyways, um, I'm a geek. I have a geek emoji. Check it out. Blah blah blah. Dagger. Okay, one more time. Let's try it. I don't even know. I feel like I keep opening up like different terminals, which is causing issues. All right, this is gonna work. Sweet, 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 sweet. So this officially was posted from. This was published from from Dagger module. I love it. I love everything about it. This is amazing. I'm gonna talk about it on Discord. Maybe I'll do that later. But this is officially working, and um, people can post stuff on LinkedIn now. So this is a great stopping point, I think. Tomorrow we'll get started on the Posse module, which is going to combine Twitter, Mastodon, LinkedIn with one unified API.